Oh, hey there. So, today we did some more work to prepare for softened fascia. We also did a bunch of softened fascia around the front. I think I showed you that already. But tomorrow we will put softened fascia around here. We'll start to really make a difference, and it's going to start shaping up. I'm going to go to Florida over the weekend, but when we get back, we're going to start doing siding, and then we're going to do paint and a roof, and it's going to start looking like a real house. And that makes me so happy. We've dealt with so many imperfections that we have struggled through, and now we're on the far end of that, and so I'm very happy about that. Now, a lot of you guys are mad at God, and this makes me sad. Like, you're openly angry, like you get mad when you think about it. And I think that there's a misconception. Nobody would ever actually say this, but you treat God like he's a genie, or like he's Santa Claus. Like, hey God, here's my list of things that I want from you, and then if you don't give them to me, I'm upset with you. Give me what I asked for. That's like a spoiled brat. Like, first of all, God is the creator of the universe. God is king of the world. You don't deserve anything from him, and he doesn't owe you anything. Anything he does for you is like, thank you so much. And we need to understand that we need to have the reverence for him that he deserves. If you went to any of our world leaders and you went, hey, buddy, hey, Biden, these are the things I want. Here's my list. And then if he didn't do it, be like, well, he's not my president, right? Or if anybody went to their leader and said that, or if you went to, I don't know, your boss or your school or your parents or whatever, and you treated them like that, they'd be like, get out. And yet we treat God like he needs to just answer our prayers and do what we want, or else. Like, he probably has a better plan. In fact, I feel very confident that his plan is better than our plan. We can ask him for things with reverence. And if he says yes, be grateful. You know the story about the 10 lepers? 10 lepers came to Jesus and they said, please heal us. And leprosy was horrible, right? You were completely isolated. You were quarantined from everybody else if you had leprosy, because there was no cure. And he said, go wash yourself in the river. And they did. And on the way to the river, they were all healed. 10 lepers. One leper came back and thanked him. And he looked at the crowd and he said, weren't there 10 lepers healed? We need to learn how to say thank you. If God does something for you, thank him. You tell people about it. And if he doesn't, you wait and be patient, because he's probably working on something better than what your plan is. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey there. So, we are about to start doing Hardie siding, but we've got a dilemma. What will we do? Don't worry. Right now, this has some flashing, but I'm not going to lie. It's rained a few times, and there have been at least one place that we saw where the flashing failed. So we want to make sure that the flashing comes down and out and over top of this, so that water doesn't come and get in between this crack, okay? We don't want that. How will we do that? They don't make a piece of flashing that's that size. We can. Let me show you. Okay, this is called a brake, okay? So this is just coil aluminum, and I've measured it out to 4.5 inches. Perfect. Now we're gonna lock it down, okay? Then we got a knife. Surely you got one of these in your pocket, I assume. Just throw it one time. So that's all it takes. Then you fold it up. Fold it back down, fold it up, boom. Now we're gonna get rid of this other piece, hold on. And now we need to fold this. So we're gonna put this sucker in here. Josh has a tape measure. Josh can come help. He makes me look less stupid. Okay. So we're gonna kind of get it in place. We're gonna measure off 2.5 inches. Oh yeah, are you there? Yep. Good. Then we lock it down. We fold it. Unlock it. Flip this sucker over. Put it back in here. Go to 1.5 inches. Good? Yep. Cool. Lock it down. Hold it. And now we've got a profile of something that we can put up there. So that will go up against the wall. It'll look just like this right here. Okay? Up against the wall, comes out over the rock and down. So then water doesn't go uphill. I don't know if you guys know this. So it's not going to go up in here, which means we're very protected. And then we'll put house wrap around this, and then there'll be Hardie, and so water's not going to come up underneath all this stuff and then get back in there. So that's what we did. Yeah, you learned something. Congratulations. If you have to tell people you're famous, you aren't. All right, so some of you guys suffer from paralysis by overanalysis. Now let me explain what that means. You don't want to do anything unless it's done right, unless it's perfect, unless you really know what you're doing. Here's the problem. None of us ever really know what we're doing. Like, we try, like, I know a lot of things, but I don't know everything. And if I waited till I knew everything about everything, and if I was 100% perfect and had all the right stuff and whatever, I would never get anything done. I would live my entire life waiting to start and never do anything. Isn't that right, Josh?
Absolutely.
See, he doesn't even care what I'm saying.
No.
Which is wonderful. No, you heard it?
I agree with everything you said. If you wait to learn everything, you'll never get anything accomplished.
Exactly. Everything we're doing is on the job training.
Right.
Right? I mean, literally, our entire lives, if we wait to like, oh, I'm going to make sure I know everything. If you go to college and have a doctorate, but you've never done stitches, sorry, you know a lot, but you haven't done it. But if you've done a lot of stitches, and then somebody that has a lot of smarts comes and says, hey, by the way, you know the reason why we do this. You go, oh, well, that makes sense. I've been doing it, but now I get it, and that's helpful. And so none of us know everything about everything, but we can help each other, right? I know some things about some things, and you know some other things about some other things. You're way better at a bunch of stuff than I am. I can't cook anything, right? I mean, we can vouch for that. I poured myself a glass of water once. It was horrible. I'm like, that's why I don't cook. Oh, hey there. So this morning, we're gonna start doing some Hardie siding, but as usual, I'm waiting on somebody else to do their job. In this case, it's Home Depot going to deliver some materials. Now, we did have some left over from the last job, and so we've trimmed out the windows. We did that first. We got the flashing on. We did that on Thursday before I went out of town. And so we got some stuff ready. We put up house wrap. It's amazing. Now, while I was in Florida, which I had a great time, and thank you guys for joining me. It was amazing. I saw a little rattlesnake that had died, and we couldn't find a will. And it made me sad because I don't know what his final wishes were. I don't know if he wanted to be cremated or if he wanted to be buried. I don't know if he had family we needed to notify, but there's just probably so many questions, and when I die, I don't want to leave that sort of thing. So some of you guys are organ donors, and I respect that. Thank you guys for donating your body to science. I have tried to donate my body to science, and they were like this: no thanks. We've seen what you do to your body. And I'm like, that's fair. I love you guys, but you do some dumb stuff, okay? Don't take that the wrong way. I still love you, okay? But it's time to change some stuff. Now, first of all, we got our materials about an hour ago, and we did this, but now we're hungry. We're gonna go eat. Speaking of going hungry, here's my question to you. If you ran out of work, how long would it be till you ran out of money? Now, a lot of you guys, the average person, I think, doesn't have a savings account at all or has less than $1,000 in savings. And that makes my heart cry for you. You got to save some money. What if bad things happen? What if you stub your toe? What if you got to go to the doctor? What if you get fired? You need to have some money saved up. So stop buying things you don't need. I'm saying this during the Christmas season because I know that you're all going to be like, I got you a nice gift, John. I appreciate it. Please don't. I don't want any gifts except just for your love. That's all I want. I want you to save your own money. That way, whenever things go bad, you're not like, help me, help me. You'll just be like, I got this. Oh, hey there. You might be wondering, why are we working so late? Well, thank you, Daylight Savings Time. It's actually 3:30 in the afternoon. It's incorrect. It's almost 6, but still ridiculously early for it to be this dark. This is a great example of like everybody agreeing to something stupid, and then time passes and we keep doing the stupid thing. Like, for example, today I was at lunch and I saw somebody who really cared about old people, and I'm like, still? You probably are immune at this point. I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, today we got siding up. Woohoo! And down that side, we didn't do this little eyebrow Eve whatever, or that one, but tomorrow we're gonna get the other side. The material didn't show up here till late, so we really only had about 5 or 6 hours to do all this, so not bad. Not bad for some white people. We'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh, hey there. So, Josh has taken it upon himself. He wants to take some of the burden off of God. And I applaud this, okay? The other day I said, do people take the names of other false gods in vain too, or just the one true God? And so now we've started saying, Josh darn it. so Josh gets more of the heat. We take some of that pressure off of God. All right, so the Bible says that not many of us that claim to be teachers, knowing this, that those of us that do claim to be teachers will be judged more harshly. That's a lot of responsibility. So if we are going to be teachers, we need to make sure that we take that responsibility seriously, and that we think carefully about the people that we're influencing. Now, everybody in the world is an influencer right now, but if you are, use that power for good, not for evil. If you just make money and that's it, that's empty life. But if you think, how can I help people? How can I make the world a better place? I think that's a good thing. Now, a lot of you guys go around doing your good deeds in public. The Bible specifically says don't do that. It says don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. What does that mean? Jesus says if you go and you help somebody and you go declare it like the Pharisees, okay? So these are the church people of the day, the good-looking religious people of the day. They go do a good deed and then they declare it to everybody in the world. Hey, look what I did, everybody. I fed the poor and I did this thing. It says you have your reward already. There is nothing waiting for you in heaven when you get there, because you took that glory here rather than taking it there. So if you do something good for somebody, this is what Jesus did. He said, don't tell anybody. They all did anyway. Okay, full disclosure, they all did anyway. But make a habit out of that. You do something good, shh, don't tell anybody, keep it to yourself. Also, if people can't tell that you're a Christian by the way that you live your life, don't say anything. It's bad for the rest of us. It's bad for the people that are really trying, because when you go around telling everybody how they should be and then you're not, that makes you a hypocrite, and then people go, I don't want to be like them because they're hypocrites. And that breaks my heart, because then people are going to hell on account of you. So think carefully about what you're doing. Now look, if you guys are like, I don't know, barflies, okay, you're hoes, and you've decided, hey, I want to start reaching towards God, I'm not talking to you. Make every effort to do that, and I applaud you. I applaud you. What I'm saying is the people that look down their nose at everybody else and say one thing and do another. That's who I'm talking to. If you are making any kind of effort to go towards God, I am on your side. I want to cheer you on, and if you want to talk, I'm here, and if you want to come to church with me, I'm here. Love you guys. We're going to get lunch. Oh, hey there. Now, I want you guys to know something. First of all, we did this siding and this and all this, and then up on that cable, but not on this cable yet, and there's another little thing we got to do tomorrow, so very exciting. Now, many of you guys want to argue with me online, and let me just go ahead and tell you, I'm not going to do it. First of all, arguing is not really worth my time, but more important than that, okay? Head-to-head arguments don't win souls, okay? So if I argue with you and you argue with me, and then I somehow prove you right, and then you prove me right, whatever, nobody's changed, right? Almost never do I read something that somebody's arguing about and go, they're right. Let me change my stand on that. Almost never. And nobody else does either. It's just a bunch of arguing. And we're better than that. So look, you know what really wins people? What won myself and everybody that I know that is a real Christian these days? Somebody loved them when they didn't deserve it. That makes all the difference. Heart-to-heart conversations, that makes a difference. That changes people. Let me tell you how I'm right and you're wrong. Nobody cares, right? I love you even though you don't deserve it. I'm going to help you even though you don't deserve it. I'm going to sacrifice for you even though you don't deserve it. No matter what in the world you do, I still love you. That wins people. So, the next time you're like, haha, John's wrong, let me tell you how you're wrong. Go right ahead. I don't care. I'm just going to ignore it. I mean, I'll see it, right? And I'll be like this, poor person. I'll probably pray for you. But if you think you're going to change my mind, highly unlikely. And if I think I'm going to change your mind by some calisthenics in my brain, I'm probably wrong too. But I think that if I can love you in spite of how rotten you are, and if God loved me in spite of how rotten I am, that makes all the difference in the world. Quick, for example, when I was a drug dealer, when I was a runaway, when I was a dropout, when I was a thief, when I was a liar, when I was a drug addict, somebody that I made fun of for being a Christian had mercy on me. Damien Patino was his name. He saw me vulnerable, and I thought, this is the time that he's going to get me back, and I deserve this. And he didn't. He had mercy on me. He shared the gospel with me. He was kind. He listened. Changed my life forever. Changed the trajectory of my life forever. And that is how I want to win people. I don't want to win by oh, I told you and now I'm right and you're wrong. I don't want to read a book and then I'm like, I know the words better than you do or something. I memorize more verses than you. I want to know, I apply that to my life. And that's the hard thing to do. You know, there's all these people like, oh, I know all this stuff. And I'm like, but do you know the basics? And the basics are, do you love your neighbor as yourself? And do you love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength? Because if you did, you wouldn't do a lot of these things that you're doing. And if you did, when the opportunity came, you'd be looking for the opportunity to help somebody. And people are watching. And people see that, and that's what changes the world. Love you guys. Hey there. Do you guys know Will Hoffman? Turn around.
Hi, I'm Will Hoffman.
This is Will Hoffman. He's amazing. Let me tell you about Will Hoffman. Because,
thank you.
Because it's not okay to toot your own horn if you are given a horn. But I can toot his horn. That's how the rules work. Okay?
You can.
Now, let me tell you, Will, if you guys rewind your memories back,
Go back in time.
2 years or so,
Many
you'll remember
years ago.
that I went to Tanzania, and Will
Ding.
was a missionary in
I had
Tanzania.
goatee back then.
He did. He was a missionary in Tanzania, and he brought me there, and I learned so much and had such a great time.
We did have a good time.
We had a great time.
High five.
Okay? Now, you might remember Will's daughter was the one that raised all that money for the
Well,
for the
Drill the well.
Hadza Village. She raised $25,000.
26 and then more to go there.
26, so probably closer to $30,000.
Yeah.
She raised, and how old was she?
She was
12 to
16
14?
at the 14 at the time.
Yeah. So you got to be on it.
Yeah, all right.
Amazing story. Now, maybe you guys are like, I would like to get to know Will better because he's freaking amazing.
Take me to dinner. I love dinner.
Maybe you're like, but we can't all get to know him
Oh, that's true. That's sad.
unless
Ding.
you come to church with me on Sunday.
Oh.
Because Will's going to be preaching.
I'm going to be the guy up front talking. So if you don't like me, I don't know what to say.
And what he's going to talk about is amazing. And I'm not going to tell you what that is. You got to come out there.
You got to come here. It's going to be good. I'm inspired and I'm the one delivering. I'm happy.
Usually when we preach to ourselves and everybody else goes, ooh, that's...
Well, I've been doing it. Now I just want to share the pain. Like I've been preaching this 30 days of myself and like feeling it. And now I want to
So you're practicing what you preach.
I want to share my pain with others.
I like that.
'Cause
Yeah.
it hurts a little.
Yeah, misery loves company.
It does. It's good. But it's good stuff.
Anyway, if you come to church on Sunday at Grace Community Church in Arlington on Barden Road between Matlock and Cooper, and you come up to me and you say, John, will you take me to lunch?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's second service.
Yeah, second
I'll
service.
be first, second. I won't take you to lunch, but
I will.
promise I'll keep you awake.
I will. So show up at 11 o'clock. I will take you to lunch. You know why? Because I think it's important to go to church.
Good
I think
man.
what Will's got to say is important.
Man.
I think you guys need to get right with God. And I love you, and I want to spend time with you, and I want you to be with me forever in heaven. So,
And if a jacked up man like me can go to church, you can go to church.
and me,
Yep.
you know, I was a drug dealer.
that.
Yeah, I was a drug dealer a long time ago, but I was. So anyway, Will is a great guy. And look, he's out here working. He's hard
I
working.
am. I
Look,
got
he's
caulking
dirty.
all
He's
over
dirty.
me, hanging out with some cool guys.
This is the kind of guy that I respect.
Nice.
Will Hoffman, you're
Knuckles.
amazing.
Turkey.
Good catch.
See you guys.
Oh, hey there. So, today, we finished up our little eave things, our gables, which is great. Then we caulked everything all the way around the house. Then we filled in some mortar. I realized that you could use toilet paper and not just my hand. If you watch my TikToks or my reels on Facebook, you'll know what I'm talking about. Then, we painted 2 coats on this. It still looks spotty because it's drying. And we're gonna keep on going. Now, it's pretty windy, so I don't know if I'm gonna get it all sprayed tonight. Plus, the sun is way down here and I'm playing a show tonight, so, oh, that's not good. Now, perhaps in your life, you've had somebody that maybe you were at odds with, okay? They did you wrong, you did them wrong, somebody's feelings got hurt, maybe somebody had to poop, I don't know what it was. But for whatever reason, you guys had a conflict and it was unresolved. Maybe people said bad things about each other, behind each other's backs, and then rumors got back and people got mad. Have you ever had somebody that happened with, and that person that you knew they did this stuff, called you and said, I did you wrong and I'm sorry? Because that's happened to me several times. It happened to me last night. And I was like, I don't care what in the world was said, and some bad things were said. I mean, some pretty damaging things. I don't care, because that person came back and said, I did you wrong and I'm sorry. And I want to be your friend and I love you and I miss you. And I was like, I forgive you. I forgive you. Now I know there's a lot of people who are like, get toxic people out of your life, blah, blah, blah. And here's what I have to say to that. If somebody wants to make peace with you, you make peace with them. You let it go. That takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of integrity, takes a lot of humility to call somebody that said, I did you wrong, and then make it right. I was also talking to a friend of mine last night, and he said somebody came to him and did the same thing. And they didn't have to. They were a very cool person. They were a semi-famous person. They could have easily just brushed it off like it was nothing, or pretended like nothing ever happened, or been like, you deserve it. But they came back and hugged him and said, I'm sorry I did you wrong. Please forgive me. And I'm like, we both were like, man, I have a lot of respect for somebody that does that. I have a lot of respect for somebody that does that. That takes a real man or a real woman to be like, I want to make peace with you, and I'm sorry for what I did. I think God respects that. I know I respect that. And I think more of us should do that. If you got something between you and your brother, you know what the Bible says? It says, if you're on your way to church, if you're on your way to the altar to make a sacrifice to God, and you realize, I got something between me and my brother, and your brother is the universal, all of us brother or sister, put your gift down to God and go and make peace with your brother. And once you've done that, come back to church. Then come back and make your sacrifice to God. Because if you say, I love God, who you have not seen, and yet you hate your brother, who you have seen, you're a liar. That's what the Bible says. I'm sorry. Forgive people and make it right. Love you. Oh, hey there. So you might be asking yourself, if Apple made a car, would it have windows? I don't know the answer to that. So today, this morning, we painted this yesterday, and then we painted the trim this morning. It looks significantly better. We painted the garage door, looks significantly better. Now, it's not a huge contrast, it's very muted, but we're gonna have a dark colored roof, charcoal roof on that, so black basically, and I think that's really gonna make it pop, so we're excited about that. Now, you might be asking yourself, how did I do all this? What manner of sorcery did I use? And the answer is, I just waved my magic wand over it, because Juan means John in Spanish. I don't know if you guys know Spanish. All right, so we painted trim. I want to show you the back of the house too. But I don't know if you guys remember. Remember I tore down this tree over here and tore down some other things over here, and it was just a dust bowl. My face was all black and dirty, and I think I probably made some white privilege jokes because I do that a lot. And then everybody's like, nothing will ever grow there again. You're gonna have to put down sod and stuff. It rained once, and look, grass is growing. Now, we're not done doing dirt work, so I still got to smooth it over, but more grass will grow. But everybody's always like, you're gonna grass and seed and blah, blah, blah when you build a house? I'm like, no, watch what'll happen. Seeds are in the dirt and in the ground and in the air, and they're just gonna like germinate, and it's gonna grow, because we don't live in a desert, and we don't live in the Dead Sea. I mean, it's a good point. You know, nothing lives in the Dead Sea. Nothing, not bacteria, nothing. It's 9 times saltier than any ocean. If you drink a mouthful of water from the Dead Sea, you'll have to seek medical attention. If you get a drop of it in your eye or your mouth, you will feel it. And I know this because I've done both of those. One eye, bit. And I was just like, oh, I gotta get out of here right now. It was like the saltiest thing I've ever. You think you felt salty things. Like, there's some people that are salty. I'm like, Dead Sea's saltier. Just throwing that out there. Oh, hey there. So, I hope that you guys have your thinking caps on. Do you? If not, reach in your little pocket. You know the little pocket right there? That's what that's for. You pull it out and you put thinking cap on. Okay? Now, the back of this house right now looks so much better. But could we make it look even bester? I think we can. So, I had my engineer, my team of engineers, draw up this blueprint, and we're gonna make a deck. So we made a materials list. Sorry, my engineers, my team of engineers drew this up, and they made a materials list, and so we're gonna put a big deck right here. We're gonna get started on that today because we finished painting, and we're gonna get spray foam on Wednesday, and what else? A roof hopefully tomorrow if it doesn't rain. So that's amazing. Now, I want to tell you guys about a phenomenon that I discovered many, many years ago. Okay, the sun has risen and set many times since I discovered this, and really the sun didn't set as much as the earth turned around. It doesn't even matter. Moral of the story is this: I used to own a music venue called Dream World Music Complex, and when a new band would play, or there's an opening band or whatever in the world, and they'd play their first song and they'd stop, there's a moment where the crowd doesn't know, like, are we gonna clap for these guys? Do we like them, or girls? Or do we hate them and we wanna boo them off the stage and walk off and say bad things? That's a delicate moment, okay? It's a very delicate moment for the band, for the audience, and for the music venue owner, which is me. And I realize that people are easily swayed. And so in that moment where the tidal wave is about to come crashing down on you, and you're like, are the people gonna like this show and come back, or are they gonna leave and say bad things? If you anonymously, in the middle of the crowd, start clapping and cheering and whistling, Another person will clap, another person will, and then the whole crowd will, okay? Because we're sheep. If, which I would never do, you say boo or this person sucks or whatever, the rest of the crowd will start chiming in and pretty much the whole crowd will turn on. Why do I say that? I say that because there are moments in your life where you're in that pause and everybody's waiting. How are we going to react to this? And you have the power at that moment to sway the crowd one way or the other. Clap for people when you have that opportunity. Clap for them and cheer them on. Say good things about them behind their back and to their face. Encourage them. And encourage other people to like them and make the world a better place by doing this. Because if we have people that clap for, do you ever have anybody who claps for you that is just like, yeah, man, this guy, that encourages you to want to do more, right? You ever had anybody that everything you do is never good enough? That makes you want to give up. It makes you want to be like, oh yeah, screw me, screw you. And you're looking for every opportunity to not do them right because the way they make you feel, all right? But be the person that encourages other people. Be the person that claps for them loudly in full view of everybody so that everybody goes, man, if they like them that much, maybe I should like them too. Because people are kind of dumb, right? Like if your video has 2 views or 7 views, people are like, it must not be that good. It might be a diamond in the rough, like mine, for example. But if you got 1 million views, people are like, oh, there's something to this because everybody's watching it. So, which is why influencers buy, fake Hobot viewers or whatever. But be somebody that loudly claps for and encourages and sings the praises of other people. And maybe one day somebody will do that for you. All right, we're gonna go build it. If you even have a soul, describe in 1 lifetime or less, using no words, exactly how much you love God. I know, you gotta think about that for a minute. People don't say that very often. You gotta be like, describe in 1 lifetime, okay, so for as long as I live, how much I love God, not using words, but by using your actions. No, that's pretty clever. I think that's a good thing. That's probably how we're gonna be judged. The Bible says that we're gonna be judged by every careless word that comes out of our mouth. A guy like me gets very worried when I hear something like that, because let me tell you, I say some careless things. Josh, can you vouch for that?
Absolutely.
Yep, it's a true story. I say some careless things, and sometimes I'm like, if I was judged just on this, I can't promise that it would be a good outcome for me. I can't. Makes you wonder a lot. Anyway, so earlier today I had my team of engineers, and they worked tirelessly for moments trying to come up with engineer documents on how to make this deck, and we're like, we love it, thanks guys. We checked it off with all the teams, CEOs, we did Zoom meetings, calls, and whatever, and it was really great. There was a lot of back and forth, but eventually, Karen had some things to say as usual. You know how Karen can be. Nevertheless, we got past all the paperwork. It only took 3.5 years, and now we started the deck. So that didn't really happen. We just went like this, piece of cardboard, about like that. And we made a materials list, and we got it. And so we got started. We started late, so it's been about 26 minutes on this, but we got the beginning of it. Now we're gonna go up a level and over those steps over here, and then we're gonna come over here to about there, and then drop down, and then go all the way to the edge. So it's gonna be actually a pretty sizable deck.